Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details. Representing the men and women on sporting fields across the globe, and especially in Port Adelaide and deep South Australia, two blokes leading the charge that it's okay to be a little bit crap as long as you try hard. It's now time for another Best Team Men podcast.
G'day guys, welcome to another round of Best Team Men. It's our first one since, I reckon, our successful Mighty Ducks podcast. Yeah. Would you agree, successful?
Totally agree. I don't know when we're ever going to get it right to say round or episode or whatever because nobody knows what day it is at the moment. Maddie, once again, to paint the picture. Now, compared to last time when we did this, I was sitting outside on my back deck looking at the moon, having a wine. All of that's the same now, but the improvements I've made are I've purchased a microphone, which I'm very happy with, and it'll be interesting to see if the audio quality is better in this one. There was a supermoon last night in Adelaide, so at the time of recording, it's Thursday night, just before 9 o'clock, and out on the back deck. So, mate, I don't really give a stuff if the neighbours can hear this. Let's just get along with it. I'm having a beautiful first drop wine. It is a headphones. It is a Forza. That's the style that I'm having tonight. And when I see you again, when we're allowed to, I'm gonna get you a bottle of first drop so we can share a bottle next time we do this, because Johnny Rensis is an absolute legend, and they kind of helped us out with Garby last week as well. And it was great. I think the Mighty Ducks thing worked better than we expected. We were going to talk for 20 minutes and we spoke for an hour and a half.
And could have kept going.
Can I tell you the funniest thing about that?
Yeah.
So I went to my mum's house because obviously I've got floorboards in my house and I've got a daughter at home. So I said to my mum, I'm going to come and use your kind of spare room. She's got carpet there. And she said, no worries. I said, I'll be 20 minutes. I said, just wait for me, because she needed to go out to the shops and to see a friend. And then an hour and a half later, I walked out and she said, I've been waiting for an hour and a half. Geez, you talk some shit.
Meanwhile, her friends text her and said, look, if you're not going to come, you should just tell me.
No, her friend's dead. So basically she needed some support. And so rest in peace. So we're going to have a drink tonight to reflect on my mum's late friend.
Absolutely. So you're going the red wine. You've had pizza for dinner. What a combo.
Yeah. It's good. I've been trying to not drink. I know it sounds like I'm an alcoholic. I'm not, but I try to behave during the week and not have alcohol from Monday to Friday, because I eat quite well, but I want to make sure I take care of myself. Because you'd be the same. You and I are the same. Are you 36 or 35?
5.
Okay, so we're similar ages. I'm a bit older than you. I'm 36, but. Right. It's harder to take care of yourself now. So, and you're obviously, before isolation and stuff, you were going hard for footy. So we got to make sure we take care of ourselves. I'm trying to do that. But I thought tonight we had some pizza, and mate, one of the things I wanted to talk about with this podcast, I might as well start here as well. What I'm noticing about everybody in isolation and with coronavirus, people are made to be creative. So you, from a sporting point of view, you see all of these guys and clubs on social media, they're adapting to engaging their audience the way that they can, whether it's athletes training at home or doing different polls of who was the best forward of the past 10 years or whatever. Yeah. Pick one out of these 10, whatever. And it's the same with local businesses. We're in South Australia. You and I might have some international listeners from Guatemala or Tanzania or whatever, who knows. But Guana, exactly. I don't think Guana is a place. I think you basically made up that place.
No, I said Botswana.
Oh, great. I said guana. Because remember in Ace Ventura 2, it's like guado. And it was bat poo. Guado. Yeah. So I think what a lot of local businesses are doing is they are finding different ways to engage their customers. So this is Pizzeria Mozzarella is a place which is run by a guy whose name is Phil Tropiano. He also owns Sosta. Chico Palms, Chicken and Pig in the City. He's a legend, mate. And he's an old St. Michael's boy. And he thought, well, I need to kind of engage my customers in a way that they can still provide me business and still have that authentic taste at home. So he's put together pizza packs. So he gave us dough and some pizza sauce and stuff, and you go home and make it yourself. But I think once coronavirus passes, he's now got that added extra to increase his business. So you have to adapt. And as Gil McLaughlin said in his presser initially, you got to be agile and you got to pivot. And that's what a lot of smart business people are doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I heard someone today, he was a business expert. I can't remember his official title or I don't know what constitutes a business expert. Maybe you've just done pretty well in a couple of ventures, but...
Yeah, he went to TAFE.
Yeah, did an 8-week course in business. But he was saying that...
and woodwork.
But he was saying that all these businesses that are coming up with ideas like exactly what you just said, when they are open and things go back to, in inverted commas, normal, I think we're in the new normal now, to be honest. But all these people are sort of figuring out new ways of, getting around these sort of problems. So, will people go back and actually dine in because now they've got access to this sort of thing? I don't think they will. They will, but I don't think to the level that they were before coronavirus. So, especially, and I say this, with the most respect, but a lot of older people right now are probably ordering Uber Eats and working out how easy it is to order Uber Eats, and they might not have to leave the house now. So when this thing goes, is it going to go back to normal? I don't think it will.
Yeah, you're right. I think we're adapting our new normal now. I was talking to my missus about it, and I just said to her, what is the one thing that you think people will learn from this or take away from this? And we were talking about things like, we took things for granted, a way that businesses can innovate now. So if you've got a boss that is based interstate, he doesn't need to travel here anymore, he or she. They can do what we're doing over Zoom, or like something which has really become prevalent probably over the past 5 years is people having the opportunity to work from home for work-life balance. So now if that is an option, companies now have been made to make that available. So that's a good thing. My fear is that, and we almost speak about this every week, that I'm concerned that once we go back to people being shoulder to shoulder in nightclubs where you're DJing or at venues which I'm hosting at, we will forget this moment. Like sometimes when someone passes away or bad shit happens, we have that grace period of 2 to 3 weeks where we learn from it, but then we get back into our routine and we go back to normal. We need to make sure, as we do with everything, what have we learned from this whole process? Because it's still so unknown. Like I'm talking to you tonight. Today was my last day at work for as long as I know. Like it's weird.
Yeah, I saw you post about that. So what, you just having a couple of weeks off and stay at home isolation type thing, or?
Yeah, pretty much. And you hear that?
Was that a fart? No, it was
No, mate. This is the area I live in, so there's probably a burnout or a drive-by, or both. You know what? We were. It's closer.
It's on the way to you.
You heard that, yeah?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Hey, mate, I am such a Westerner. Port Adelaide represent. One of the things that I'm sorry, it's freaking me out. One of the things I've been most impressed with this week, and I'm gonna sound like I'm just drinking the company Kool-Aid here. I've been just knocked my microphone over. I've been with Nova Entertainment for 16 years this year. So that's a very long time.
That's a great achievement, by the way.
Like, it's unbelievable how long I've been there for, mate. Like one day I'll look back on it and go, a lot of people when it comes to media and radio, they don't last 16 weeks, let alone 16 years. So I'm very grateful for that. But one of the things that I've learned about my company this week, which I remember the first day I started, and I was hired as a Casanova, one of the street team people, and the person who spoke to me, Mel Walsh was her surname at the time, and she remarried. It was weird, not my sister or my mum.
I was going to say, is that how you got the job, family connection?
No. But she said, we're hiring you because you're a Nova person, and I didn't know what that meant at the time, but over my journey, I really have, and I don't know what that means for the future, but I really embrace it. But what our CEO has said to us this week, which I love, the most important thing during this time is to save jobs. And there are sacrifices that people throughout our whole company have had to make just so people are safe at the other end of it. And one of the sacrifices is a wage decrease, which a lot of people have had to take right from the top down. But also other people finding different ways to take time away to save jobs. So say, for example, if you've got annual leave, which is over a certain amount, then you take it. And if that saves a job, that's fantastic. But I actually emailed my CEO during the week, and I don't normally do that, just saying what I loved about the way that it was communicated to everybody was that the people that they want to take care of is the first priority. Obviously, this is an unknown thing for everybody. And then, the sacrifices that we make as a collective means we get through it as a collective. So I said there was a professionalism to it, and there was also like a real empathy, and empathy is something which I don't know if you know much about the Resilience Project. It's a book and a guy who does a lot of stuff. He did an amazing podcast with Jack Watts talking about empathy, about you don't have to feel sorry for someone, but just try and understand what they're going through. So it was really good. So for my situation, I've got a lot of annual leave banked up because I've been there for so long. So I'm going to take an extended period away from the radio, and do nothing, which I haven't done ever. Yeah. Because over Christmas, right? Say if I take from December till January off, I've got Adelaide Strikers, Adelaide United, Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah, so you don't really stop, do you?
I never stop, mate. So for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to stop and find stuff to do, which is a bit weird because I don't really know what to do. But it also gives you that kind of understanding of what's important and what you want to make of the day. I think a couple of things are important, like to have some sort of routine's really cool, to do that. And that's where fitness kind of comes into it. I like to get up and be active and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man. I know I rambled a bit there, but I think it's a real sign of a good company when they're looking after their people, because we've spoken over the past couple of episodes that this brings out the best and the worst in people. And a lot of people can panic and make really quick decisions. Sometimes you need to, but other times you can take a breath, observe the information, step back and go, all right, how are we going to deal with this for the best way possible? You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. And I've got something for you. I haven't spoken to you about this yet, but one of your tasks that I'm going to give you over the next 2 weeks is to get yourself an Amazon Prime account, which you might already have, I don't know, and watch the Test, the Australian cricket.
Yeah, I saw
doco.
you talking about. So can you talk us through this? Because I saw the trailer, and it looks amazing. It's like one of those things where, when the Western Bulldogs videoed their whole 2016 and coincidentally they won the flag. So talk us through it.
Yeah, it's epic. It's probably hands down, in my opinion, the best sporting doco I've ever seen. And I don't say that lightly. I've seen a lot. And just the insights you get into being an Australian cricketer, from how much they're on the road to how much they're away from their family. The mood changing in the dressing room, like they could play a test match and dominate day one, but then get flattened in day two, and the mood is just completely different. So it's, just a different side to cricket that no one's ever seen before, which I loved. And it gave me a different perspective on certain people. Like I didn't look into it too much, but, I probably have a lot more respect for Tim Payne now than what I did before watching this. So, and Justin Langer as well, the way he handled the situation of coming in, like he was put into an absolute rabble. And the way he...
As in, when you say rabble, is that by some of the people that were the part of the team and kind of the culture leaders?
Oh, well, he came straight in after, the ball tampering situation. So, he inherited a team with, without Smith and without Warner, and all this media criticism and different countries and that getting into him and stuff like that. So he just had to really level the ship, and he tried to create a culture of them being good people before they were good cricketers, and earn the respect back from the cricketing world. And that's what he did really, really well. And he just kept hammering it, and he stuck by his guns. Even when they got flogged, he just kept to his processes. And you just got to watch it. It's amazing.
Seems to be a big thing in sport, though, doesn't it? Because Damien Hardwick had a big personality change. Nathan Buckley did as well. Buckley, the player, compared to Buckley, the coach, compared to Buckley, the now coach. They're 3 different personalities. So it seems that the cultural side of things seems to be really important. But the most important thing is that you buy into what they're trying to do. Otherwise, it's not going to work if everybody doesn't buy in.
But I think that comes naturally with them changing and being a people person as well. The players want to play for someone that they get along with and that they respect. So I think that buy-in is just a natural progression, I guess, of, trying to create a good culture and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
it's interesting that you said that your opinion's changed on people. I wanted to say that, It's really weird. Like over the past couple of weeks, I'm starting to give less shits what people say to me on social media. I get trolled a little bit, not too much, but I'm at the point where I get nervous about writing something on Twitter, especially just because of the response I'll get. So I've almost avoided writing something because in my head I'm like, these are the responses I can get, and it's a horrible way to think. So I went to Coles last night, and the checkout woman said, "Oh, we can't pack your bags. So can you pack your bag?" I said, "Yeah, it's fine, whatever." So I did it, and then like walking away, I just thought it's a bit weird. Like you're saying, I have to pack my bag for hygiene, but you're touching every item and scanning it. Now I don't understand it, right? So I put the tweet out there, and a lot of people come back saying that it's for risk aversion and they're trying to remain clean and all that stuff, which I totally get. But then some other people came across like passive aggressive and a bloke saying, "Oh, it's not that really simple. It's not that hard to comprehend." And I'm like, I wrote back to him and I said, "Mate, just all right. There's no need to snap. All I'm doing is making an observation." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not snapping. Geez, you'd hate to receive a message from Tex Walker." And I just first of all thought, what do you mean? And then I said, actually, Tex is a good guy. Like we've spoken about him, Matty, after the showdown T20 game. I said he's a good guy. And then he said, "Oh, nah, yeah, I know he's a good guy, but obviously the short-term fireman Kane Corns isn't. I expect you to support him because you're a Port MC." And I thought, I got two approaches here. I either say nothing or I write back, or maybe three, or I delete my tweet. And sometimes I've done that because I'm like, I just can't be fucked dealing with just dickheads on social media just having a crack for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So I wrote back to him. And this is my take, and I was explaining it to my PT this morning. No matter what people think of Kane Corns, and everybody has their opinion of what he puts out there, like you said, just say, for example, you thought differently of Tim Payne or Justin Langer before you saw the test. Kane Corns, to me, the relationship I have with him is great. When I see him, he's lovely to me. His wife is lovely to me. His kids are great. I've had a like on and off kind of like close friendship with Kane for years. Like we're not best mates. We don't hang out all the time, but we're pleasant to one another because he's never done anything bad to me, and I've done nothing bad to him. We had a podcast a couple of years ago, Kane and I, called 3 Point Play when he was trying to get into radio. It was great. Taylor Walker, exactly the same. And I wrote back to this bloke and I said, "Mate, I form my opinions on how people are to me. They are both lovely guys to me. That's all I need. But everybody hates Kane because he has an opinion on social media and all this footy stuff. And I get it. I get it. Like, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I don't get it, because there's journos that I see like Damien Barrett and Tom Brown that I go, you guys are flogs. But I'm sure they're probably nice people once you get to know them. So I'm a hypocrite in that regard. But still, fucking hell, can't we just chill out a little bit and be nice to one another? And they're just trying to do what is right for them and their families. But social media, I feel, is getting worse.
Yeah, I said to him, a mate of mine, Andrew Rains, actually got interviewed by Cornsey today on SEN with Hazy about his one-on-one coaching program venture thing that he's got going on. And he actually asked me, he said, "Well, what do you think of Kane?" And I said, "Look, I think when he, comes to interviewing and all that sort of stuff, and when he is serious and that he's a really good media performer." And I said, "I think sometimes he provokes people deliberately. Like he goes out and says things deliberately to create a stir and to create a reaction. And if that's his angle, then that's his angle. I mean, Cole Sandilands is probably the richest radio guy in history by doing that. So,
Yeah. It's just weird, man. And maybe it's just me being naive and just wanting everybody to be nice to one another. Like, I'm a really vanilla person. My physio, Stavros, he's at peak, and I went to see him because I've got a sore glute. I think it's called hamstring tendinopathy, which is basically the top of your hamstring. It's just like, no, it's like tendinopathy. It's like an anal injury. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so what I love about him, right? So he didn't just talk about me physically how I'm going, but mentally as well. He just said, "How are you going, bro? Like, talk to me about what you do every day and stuff." And he's great. He said, "You know what? Don't come to the gym if you're forcing yourself to. Don't train if you're forcing yourself to. Actually look after your mind, because you need your mind to be good to your body." He's amazing. Like, he's a legend, right? Loves ice hockey. Bit of a weird unit because of that. Love the Mighty Ducks podcast. 100%. So he sent me a message and he said, "You know what I love about the podcast?" I'm like, okay, where's this going? When it ends? And he, what he said was he likes the fact that we swear. Now, I don't love swearing because I never swear in front of my daughter, right? But because we live such structured lives, you listen to me on the radio, you'll never hear me swear. You in your work life, you won't swear. But because it becomes more natural and more normal, it gives that different side. Like, that was the whole intention of our podcast, to sit down and go, let's just have a couple of guys having a chat, as opposed to let's have structure. Because I reckon last year we had too much structure and we're talking about here's the hard-hitting issues in sport. Well, fuck off. We're not journos, mate.
Here's a siren to start the second segment.
Exactly. But it was good that we worked on how to do the podcast and do it. But now we're here having a good chat. And
that's what I get a lot. That's the feedback I get as well, is it just sounds like a couple of mates talking a bit of shit, which we are. Which is exactly what we're doing. So I think, that resonates with people and they like it, and we're going to keep doing it, obviously. So,
yeah, I think it's great. We've been doing this, we've been recording for a bit. It's a pretty long episode, so we'll wrap it up in a second. But I think the good thing is, because I've got a bit of time off and, even over the Easter weekend, we should just record a couple of them and just sit down and chat.
Absolutely.
So let's hold on to our running etiquette for the next one.
Yep. I just we'll talk about something sport real quick, though, before we wrap up. Thoughts on the AFL hubs?
My opinion is, unless there are going to be crowds there, don't do it.
Yeah,
I think, like, I'm assuming they just want to get the season done so they can honour a TV agreement and get cash, which I get. Like, it's a business. But I got nothing out of watching round one, like absolutely zero. I watched a little bit of the Richmond-Carlton game and it felt lifeless. I listened to it on the radio to start off and it felt, you and I listened to a lot of Triple M calling their footy because of the rub. The rub's great. You don't need a game of footy to have a good rub, so to speak. But the game itself, you need the crowd. We spoke about this, mate, before the Mighty Ducks thing. So if they're doing it just to get the games done, it's going to do nothing for us. It's going to do everything for the players, everything for the clubs and everything for that. But if there's no fans, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'm starving for some footy in general. So, look, it was hard to watch without crowds. It was easier to watch your team without a crowd. You can't sit there as a neutral and watch two teams you don't really give a stuff about. That was hard. I don't know. I'd be all for it in a way. Like you said, if you were able to go watch it, like imagine going to watch Hawthorn and Essendon at Adelaide Oval on a Friday night or something like that. Like, I reckon there's
but I don't think we'll be allowed to, though. They'll still do the isolating and stuff, which is going to be weird. Like, they're looking at the starting the NRL soon, the NFL. They're looking at moving to Arizona. With the A-League, there's a chance that they'll do hubs as well. I think everyone's just trying to do what they can to get seasons done.
If they do hubs, what's wrong with them doing, say, using smaller arena, I call it arena lightly, like Sandford grounds or something like that? Why does it have to be at Adelaide Oval?
Oh, exactly. I think it needs to be AFL sanctioned, but I don't know if that is for broadcast purposes. I don't know.
They play, obviously, pre-season games. There was one at Noarlunga. They play AFLW games at the Parade and Richmond and all that sort of stuff. So I can't see it being a massive TV problem. They can definitely get the cameras in there and get the angles and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know, maybe it might have felt a bit different at a smaller ground rather than, 100,000 person MCG empty stadium, for instance.
I just don't know. I think all of my thoughts go to grand final. What are they going to do? Because that's the pinnacle, isn't it?
Yeah, this might be the one where they have to play it somewhere else if scheduling doesn't allow. They're talking about letting it run through to New Year's Eve.
Imagine this. I'm gonna give you a bit of a scenario to wrap this up, all right?
Right, I like it.
They've decided on a venue for the AFL Grand Final. It's the Portland Football Club. And LT sings the national anthem.
Yeah, he's come
delivers back. Delivers the Premiership Cup. But then, 3/4 time, there's an injury and LT gets a call up, a la Dean Portman, D3 the Mighty Ducks.
He's just rolled in. He's had played no part in the season whatsoever. Coach Bombay's come in and gone, you're going to play here, Lindsay. You haven't played all season. You've played in a completely different league.
LT's had 7 hot dogs.
Gil's gone, no, you know what, Richmond, you can bring in an outsider. Go for it. Who do you want to bring in?
LT's walked in with his piece of paper signed by his attorney, Ricky Nixon. And he's like, Chicken said that I'm the guy. What a piece of work that bloke is. Fuck, that's another conversation.
Oh, that's actually, when you think about it, we can come up with a lot of content over the next couple of weeks.
100%. So it's what is it, Thursday night? We will come back in a couple of days. We'll have a sit down, have another chat, another catch up. And,
absolutely. I'm going to tell you my dinner story before we wrap up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I did a reasonably solid workout tonight, which you can go on my Instagram and have a look at. And I ordered dinner, and I was driving on the way to get it, and I've ordered takeaway, obviously. And I was turning a corner, and there was a car coming towards me, and the girl on the phone.
How do I play that on your Instagram? I'm on your story.
Yeah, click the actual. It's a different account. I've got a different account where I'll upload my fitness stuff, so I don't bore.
Matt's Journey.
Yeah.
Everybody follow Matt's Journey
_.
Sorry, continue.
That's right. So I was driving, and a car was coming towards me. I was trying to turn a corner. The girl goes, "Oh, what name would you like that under?" And I was sort of half concentrating on her phone call and half on the road. And I went, "Matt, thanks." And she goes, "Yep, so that'll be such and such dollars. You've ordered this, and that's waiting for you under the name Ahmat." And I went, I felt bad I couldn't correct her. So she's written my name as Ahmat.
You're Robbie Ahmat.
Robbie Ahmat, kind of like the old, who did he play for? Essendon? No.
It's a great question. That's a great trivia question.
It was an Ahmat for Collingwood.
All right, give me 3 clubs, and I'm going to tell you who he played for to wrap this up. Robbie Ahmat. How many games did he play to the nearest 10? And name the club.
Collingwood and Sydney. And I reckon he played Collingwood and Sydney, and I reckon he played 85.
Mate, you are so close. He played for Collingwood, he played for Sydney, and he played 67 games.
Ooh.
That is... My neighbours are clapping.
Thanks, neighbours.
One of my neighbours has the clap. Welcome to the 5016.
I love it. Every time I'm there.
Mate, understandable. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to leave you with this Robert Ahmat fact.
Yep.
Robbie Ahmat won the AFL Goal of the Year in 2000.
Really? So he's got something out of his 65 games.
Get up your phone. Then. We are going to watch Robbie Ahmat Goal of the Year.
Well, hang on. Let me get it up. I'll tell you when I'm ready to play it. I think... Oh, no.
It says on YouTube,
he was playing for
Robert Ahmat kicking a good goal.
Robbie Ahmat.
Surely this isn't it. I don't reckon this is goal of the year. Let's have a look at this. Him kicking. No, this isn't goal of the year.
Is that the one kicking a good goal one?
He's wearing the long sleeves. He's wearing the number 7. Is that Andrew Cricker's old number? Oh, what a kick off the left foot goal! Robbie.
Oh, that's not goal of the year.
No, that's a shit goal. Just look at Sav Rocker going, geez, I could eat you,
Just
mate.
What year did he win?
2000.
2000. AFL Goal of the Year. 2000.
This is great listening.
Here you go. AFL Goals of the Year 2000 to 2010. It'll have to be in that.
I reckon he's edited his own Wikipedia page, and I guarantee Robbie Ahmat did not win the Goal of the Year in 2000.
No, he hasn't. Kingsley Hunter won 2000.
Robbie!
One of his mates has gone on there and stitched him, I reckon.
Maybe they've had a few beers.
Maybe he thought he should have won it.
He thought he should have won. See you, matey.
Yeah, see you, mate.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.